Beverly, two of the original people on the Alva Mural Society. Uh, Beverly was the president for many, many years, over 20 years, I believe, and so she will be there. Betty could not make it, but Beverly will be there, and we will be at 6 o'clock. We will be presenting her with some awards, just for her years of service that she did. Her and Wayne, and they came back and started the Mural Society.
Oh my, isn't about murals, but do you remember? Isn't he the one that had that kind of a bus that would always ride in the parades, and he would haul people from? It was a special bus. I think Wayne Kinsey had. Do you remember that?
You bet. I remember Wayne. You bet. I remember Wayne Kinsey's bus. You bet. And Fred had Kinsey's bus. You bet. And Fred had a motor home that he pulled a helicopter behind. Most people pull a car. He had a helicopter on his when he went behind it. And yeah, they were unique and very talented people. Um, we'll have on that Friday night. We'll also have music down there. Boss Music will be playing. I know the beer company's having some. Boss Music will be playing. I know the beer company's having somebody playing in there at 7. And we'll have street art. And then one thing I'm really excited about, I think is going to be fun, is we're all the schools to know that they can come down there. We're going to have stick horse races, and flash. Some of them they can pick out their stick horse, and we're gonna have a party down there on the mural presentation will be to Beverly Kinsey on that evening. And we'll also be doing a street murals down there. So if you feel you're a budding artist, come on down. We will give you chalk, and we will turn you loose on the street. We have a full block for you to draw on the street. This is your chance to come vandalize the streets of Alva with some chalk, and we're looking forward to seeing what pops up.
Oh, they're going to be able to draw on the street itself.
Yes, they'll be able to draw on the street itself. We have the chalk. Come on down and or bring your own chalk and show us your art too. But it's a really good chance to watch the artist interact with all that time that afternoon and evening, and they'll be down there painting in the various locations. And so Tox and Courtney Miller, who goes by the name of Red Dirt Rosie, and so you should relate to that. You can remember. You should remember her name, and she's great. She'll be very interesting, and she brushes and sprays at the same. She uses both mediums, and she'll be doing some of each on this mural that she's doing. So it's going to be a unique mural also.
And where's she going to be doing hers?
She'll be on the Sanctuary Spa at the corner of 4th and Center. So right there, right by the beer company almost. So right south of the Farmers Co-op. So all three artists will be working right there. The one will be working on the co-op is a lady from up at the college, Miss Valdez, and she's a senior in the art department and a very talented artist, we believe, and she's going to be touching up the Farmers Co-op mural some.
Well, Norval, it sounds like a great deal. You know, I hadn't heard much out of the Alva Mural Society, but it is alive and well, it sounds like.
It's alive and well. We've been redoing some of the older murals that are failing. They are well over 20 years old now. Some of them, and we just if you look on the side of the Extreme building downtown, we did the original one, which was the Run. We just got done redoing it a few months ago. It's gorgeous again, and it was 24 years old. It needed done again, and so it looks good, and we're continuing to do that. That's a lot of what we do now is maintaining what's there.
You don't have the original artist redoing it. You have someone else touching it up.
We took it completely down and basically reproduced it and put it back up. The original artist has passed away, but with today's technology, we were able to reproduce it exactly what he had and put it back up, and yeah, it's gorgeous.
Okay, well, it sounds like it's something we should all take part in. It's April the 24th and 25th. About what time of day does this begin?
Well, we'll be down there at 5:30 is the stick horse race, and we'll be people will be down there all afternoon. I mean, they'll be down there painting. Bring your lawn chair if you want to sit and watch the artist, which is very entertaining. And get a beer and from the Alva Beer Company or whatever they have there, the stouts, ales. They got all kinds of stuff, but it'll start at 5:30 with the stick horse race, and there's also a 5K race, uh, foot race. So if you're a runner, there is a race for you to that evening, and you can register for it at the Chamber of Commerce or at Schussler's agency.
Okay, well, that sounds like a good deal. Is there anything else before you sign off going on in Alva that you need to tell us about?
Well, right now my allergies are trying to kill me off, so I need to get off the air here and cough for a little bit and let you talk to Bill. So,
Thank you so much, and it sounds like a great deal, and we'll be looking forward to the Alva Mural Society, Alva Mural Fest. And thank you for coming. And now then, I've got a guy here by the name of Bill Bixler, and we've got a lot of stuff we're going to have to talk about. Bill, can you talk a lot? Well, I actually brought you here to tell a little bit about my boss here. I told him you were going to come and wrap up the snake hunt, but I want him to tell an award. And could you tell us a little bit maybe why? It was probably for scrubbing toilets and stuff like that. But anyway, tell us he got a special award at the snake hunt, did he not?
He did get an award, a sort of a appreciation plaque presented to Ben by, I guess, the officers of the Saddle Club that were all up on the stage. And Ben has been involved with the Winoka snake hunt for decades, and I don't know the beginning year, but I think clear back in the 70s. And that could be wrong. He'll have to clarify that, but he has done the announcing and the MC of the whole event for a lot of years, and the town of Winoka and the area and the Saddle Club appreciate his efforts and showed their appreciation by presenting the plaque. And anyway, that happened Sunday afternoon downtown Winoka when they were wrapping up the snake hunt and doing the measuring of the championship categories. And anyway, Ben's been involved with all of that for years and years and years. And I know he's a pretty young man, but I don't know for sure.
They added it up, and it took three of them to add it, and it's like 60 working, and then some that we just don't know where I was. Neither do I. They were a little sketchy back there a ways.
Still doesn't know.
Ben announced on the podium Sunday when he was receiving the award. He said that something to the effect, I'm sure he'll have to put it in the proper context and words, but that he was happy or something, but he was honored to be invited to come back to Winoka more times than he had been asked to leave. Something to that effect. I'm going to let him tell you.
Actually, the numbers are still needing to climb. I would like to be asked to come back as many times as I was told to leave, and it's still, I got a ways to go. I need to live way past 100. And with Rosie's help, I think we can get there. I want to interrupt your great show here. No, I'm serious. We have I'm not sure what because that's not my area of the business, but we don't have enough Wi Fi to be able to pull our broadcast today. Verizon is working on whatever they work on, but we have some choppiness in our broadcast. But we are we are with another system recording, and I believe that it will run. I think it will run without any choppiness to it. Norval, I listened to your part coming in from the transmitter out there, and I got most of it. But if you would take just maybe 2 or 3 minutes and summarize what you said again. For instance, the actual artists. I didn't catch one of the names, and so on.
Well, I think probably you need to turn your hearing aid up, but I think I'm getting ugly looks. No, I'd be glad to do that. Um, we have two artists coming in for the Mural Fest, and it will be next weekend, not this coming weekend, but the weekend after, on Friday and Saturday. And actually, we're going to block the street off starting on Thursday morning. So you can come down anytime on Thursday and watch them, but especially come down there Friday evening. Around 5 o'clock, and we'll be having the stick horse races and the street murals, and the 5K will be running, and we're going to do a presentation inside the beer company for Beverly Kinsey. And so it's just going to be a fun evening. Bring your lawn chair down and have a good time. We have two artists coming in, Courtney Miller, who goes by Red Dirt Rosie. So Rose here will remember her name. And you need to go introduce yourself. Courtney's a very nice, fun lady. And Tox Morello. And both of these artists travel extensively, and this is what they do, is murals. That is their thing. Tox is a unique artist. You've seen his work on by the Ranger Mart, the John Wayne mural, and he does just spray cans and airbrush. Spray artist only. He does amazing very, very detailed life-like work. It'll be a big mural he's doing on the beer company, so it's going to be interesting. And then Courtney will be working on the Sanctuary Day Spa wall, the north wall where the wings are currently. She will be removing the wings temporarily while she works there. She'll be doing a background where the wings are. That's kind of a selfie spot. You go have your shot with the wings. You might want to do that, Ben. Yeah, that we all want to see. And then she'll be doing above that. They've bricked in the windows. We're putting panel there that she will then be doing murals on to make it look like stained glass. So that should be a really pretty spot for people to go have their picture taken. And so there's going to be some real talent downtown that this is your chance to talk to them. They're both people who love to visit and go visit with them and ask questions and learn some stuff. It'll be a very interesting evening.
Thanks a bunch. You know, it just occurred to me as I was listening to you there, we've got a cruise coming up fairly quick. I mean, it's going to be Christmas in 2 weeks. My life is going right on by, but we cruise sometime pretty quick.
We do. The big summer cruise is the third weekend of July. The car club in Alva now has started having a cruise every third Saturday. Now it's not one with bands, and it's not the big cruise. We don't advertise. We don't spend money on advertising it and stuff. It's just on the internet. But they had a big turnout last month, and I had people ask me, "What were all the cars doing on the boulevard in Alva?" And that was it. The car club's putting on a cruise in. And a couple more things I wanted to mention on the Mural Fest. Nam and Pops will be down there with the inflatables for the kids also. Kids, when they're not running their stick horses at the Alva Futurity, they can get on Nam and Pops. And we also, of course, Boss Music will be there playing some good music. And we also will have street murals. So bring your chalk, or we have chalk. We'll have plenty of chalk. Come down, show us your art ability on that block that we have blocked off there.
Bill Bixler does some chalk work. It's just words, but he can. Now he's not. He has problems being careful with the words. Yes, yes. It's a limited vocabulary, but it's very noticeable. Bill was talking with Rosie, or Rosie with Bill, and I was driving in from working at the transmitter and listening to you guys. And it brought to mind a couple of things, Bill, about the snake hunt. I saw you there. You know, I look around from the stage, and I see a whole bunch of people, and I don't know a lot of them, which means they're not from our little area. We get a fair amount of tourists, if that's the term we're looking for here, snake hunters, however that goes, at the snake hunt. But I don't see an awful lot of the folks from the town and around in the community. Maybe it's a little bit old hat, but we're sure not running out of rattlesnakes.
Probably not running out of snakes for sure, but there was a lot of people from out of town. You're right, and a lot of them are people at the sand dunes out of curiosity, and just come down to town to see what is a rattlesnake hunt. And of course, a lot of them have been coming to the dunes for years and years and know that that's a big weekend. And there are thousands of duners that come to that weekend and make the event, actually. And like I say, the local people, there's not nearly as many people in Winoka living full time as there used to be when you started in this helping with the snake hunt. I wasn't living here at that time, but I remember when I was a kid, there was a whole lot more people, probably more than twice the population of the town as there is now. Anyway, there was a lot of people from out of town and quite a few in-town folks too.
You know, you make a good point there. I hadn't thought about that, but you know, across the banner of the Woods County Enterprise, and all of the time that you and I were growing up, or were starting to grow up at least, it said 2,000 by 1960. You remember that? And by 1960, the population in Winoka was, I forget, 2013, something like that. And then railroads changed their way of doing businesses, and trains didn't stop anymore. There was no need for an ice plant. There was no need for a roundhouse to turn the engines around. There was no need for any of the water stuff. So our population at the last time it was taken was 703. So you're right. I mean, by what you say, there should only be about a third the number from Winoka at any gathering. So yeah, we are a smaller community, no doubt about it. When the stage was over there by where you live now, over by the fire station, I remember working the stage, doing weighing and measuring, and there would be people clear back across the lot there. I mean, there would be 1,000 or so people watching us do that. One of the most interesting times is, and there have been several, but a guy was hollering at me from the other end of the stage. Now the stage is a semi-trailer bed, so you can picture that. I'm about 3/4 of the way to the north edge, and he's down on the south edge, and he's yelling at me, and he's a biker. I mean, he's dressed as a biker, and it's a big biker weekend. It always has been. And so I think that the guy's just kind of heckling me. So I give the microphone to Tommy Goff, who was helping me at the time. May God rest his soul. And I'm listening to this guy, and he goes, "Hey, come here. I got something I need to tell you." So I went down there, and he said, "Have you ever interviewed a person that's been bitten by a western diamondback rattlesnake?" And I said, "No, I really haven't." So he and two of his buddies were carrying a rattlesnake across his shoulders. So one guy on one side of him had the tail. The guy on the other side of him had the head. I believe there had been adult beverages involved in the day, I'm pretty sure. And they had those cut-off denim jackets on, so their arms were exposed. And the one carrying the head just accidentally raked it down the guy's arm that was talking to me. And I think the guy thought that since it was just a little scratch, it wasn't a bite, that he was probably going to be, I don't know what he thought. But I started interviewing him, and I interviewed him until he started to swallow his tongue and turned purple. And I mean, we had called, I mean, people got excited when I said what he said to me. And we're right across, Bill, from where, you know, where we are. We're right across from the fire station. So here came the, whatever they were then. I don't think M's had been invented yet, but away they came. But the guy started, I mean, if you read about a snake bite, they tell me it's almost like a lightning strike in that from the place that it hits until it spreads. It's like the people that it happens to say it's what they would think being struck by lightning is kind of a pam, and it goes right up through you. So we didn't have a long interview, but the guy said some interesting things. It's very difficult after you swallow your tongue to continue an interview. I kind of held up my part of it, but he was no longer interested. And then, you know, Bill, this was the time of Polaroids. I mean, this is a ways back. Time of Polaroids. So I got a Polaroid from his girlfriend, and they had. So it's about 2 weeks after the bite, and they had done what is called a barbershop cut down his arm to keep his arm from exploding from the swelling. So it was, if you get a scratch from a rattlesnake, Bill, well, you would know this, but spread the word. It's kind of a bad deal.
Stay away from rattlesnakes. I have not ever gone snake hunting, nor will I ever. And I am hoping I don't ever have to defend myself from a rattlesnake.
If you've ever had a dog that's been bitten and seen how it swells, I can understand. I can't imagine what that guy's arms looked like.
The most recent one we had bitten, Rose, was really, I sort of say it's really unfortunate, but it's really never fortunate, I guess, to be bitten by a rattlesnake. But some bites are a little worse than others. This guy was one of our handlers and had been for years, and he was a professional herpetologist, came into to our snake hunts. He was in the den of death where they dump the snakes in, you know, when the hunters come in, they put them in this enclosed area, and you can take a look at them in there, and the 2 or 3 of the handlers get in with them. Well, this guy had knee-high boots on, but this snake was a big snake and got him right above the boot in the back of his leg and got him with a straight shot, and both fangs and everything that he'd ever saved up from the beginning of his little snake life to his big snake life. He got him good, and it took, I was told later, 12 vials of antibiotic serum at $15,000 a vial to get him leveled out. People don't know this, but that serum is very difficult. It's very fragile, and it's difficult to keep. You can't be you wouldn't store it on a shelf. It's frozen. It's kept. They keep quite a bit of it in Oklahoma City. On Rattlesnake Weekend, they will transfer, I think, 3 vials. I'm not sure, to Woodward at the hospital. So the helicopter will go from Winoka to Woodward, and usually 3 vials. But after 3, this guy needed 7 more. So they made the trip to Oklahoma City. He was in the hospital a couple of weeks. That's about as serious a bite, really, as I've ever heard of. I mean, if that's not serious, I'm not sure what serious is.
Have we had any deaths down there from bites?
Actually, there's more deaths from lightning strikes than there are rattlesnake bites, because usually they're treated. Now there is a theory. I used to say wives' tale, but wives have jumped at me about that. So I can't defend myself. I don't know where the term wives' tale came from. So I've stopped that now. Now I hope no therium guys are going to get all over me, but there was a theory that let's see. I can't remember exactly how this was presented to me, so I probably don't know it well enough to tell you about it, Rose. So just forget that. Forget that deal right there, and we will go to the next one.
I just had a quick snake story. Doesn't involve the Winoka snake hunt, but it involves the Okeen snake hunt. So it was put on by the Okeen JCs, and back when I was young and in the JCs, a group of us went down there during the wintertime to visit with them about some JC business. And pretty soon they got out a gallon of whiskey, and we're in their building that they had, and they're all drinking, and it's getting a little more unruly, and we're not, because we got to drive back to Alva. The group of us, Dr. Smith and my wife and his wife and other people, and we got to drive back to Alva, and these guys are drinking heavily. And then to come find out, they keep the biggest snakes for the next year, just for fun, and they have them in jars and buckets and stuff in the counters there, and they start getting them out. And we're like, oh yeah, this is not going to end well. There's lots of rattlesnakes coming out, and